Uh-oh, this ain't good. Come on, squeeze through. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Ooh, that Porsche took a big hit. Hi guys, Beans here. Welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. Today's race is from our LFM Coach Dave GT3 sprint race here at Misano, and this is our first race outside of the Rookies Only series. In the last episode, we finally made it out of the Rookie Leagues and now find ourselves facing off against some really good drivers. This was split 2 or 4 at the time, and today's race was eventful in places, but for the most part, fairly clean, and we managed to avoid being collected ourselves, especially in the big pile-up at the beginning of the race, as you saw. Now, this track, I thought I'd be okay at, as I was fairly familiar with Misano due to the MotoGP games I was never any good at. But oh boy, I was definitely wrong here. I actually found it quite difficult to be competitive. As I would get some corners completely wrong, like you've just seen. But not to worry, as that's the whole point of this series. For practice, I jumped into a multiplayer lobby dedicated to the LFM practice. I spectated a few guys, checking for braking points, turning points, etc., and then set out onto the track. It's a lot easier watching someone else do it, for sure, I can tell you. Now, from watching people, as far as I'm aware, Misano is a track that you really need to learn how to use the off-track limits to be competitive. You can take a lot of curb on some corners without it affecting the outcome, but a few of the sausages are quite lethal, as I found out in this video. And one thing I feel I need to learn to do properly is trail braking, but I'm hoping that'll come with practice. And if I'm honest, it is hard for me to trail brake with my current setup, as I have a Loadcell pedal, but I just can't use it to its full potential. But in the near future, I do plan on upgrading from my current desk setup to a solid sim rig. So far, managed to avoid the carnage that's been happening in front of us and around us as we head onto the Misano curve to complete our second lap. I wasn't too sure on what the pace should be around here, but I felt like I had a decent pace. So fast forward in a few more corners, there's a BMW. He's managed to gain some time on us, and he's got a really good run out of the double right-hander onto the left there. And so we defended our position, because I feel like I said, I need to be a bit more less conservative when it comes to positions. Managing to avoid the Ferrari that was facing the wrong way, and we lost the position. So up ahead, obviously the Mclaren here he's gone deep. We managed to pass him, but I personally feel like he probably should just wait a little bit longer. Losing a bit of time up ahead to the 2 cars here, and to be fair, if I'm honest, the BMW up ahead, he was consistently lapping about a second a lap quicker. So it was understandable that he was ahead of me, and then he was going to pull away. So we managed to make a move on the Mercedes over the last corner, and I wasn't going to give up this position. So ultimately, I went deep and managed to keep it on the track for the first turn, and then on the left, I didn't know if he was going to turn in or not, so I stayed off the track. Fast forward again to the end of the lap, we put in our best lap of the race so far. Now, if I'm completely honest with you, this was quite a boring race in places. There's a big skill gap in the split I was in, and you can definitely tell for sure. I mean, the McLaren behind us, it was car number 2. He was definitely quicker than us, but we managed to keep him behind us for a few laps in the beginning anyway. But ultimately, going into this corner, I go a little bit wider than I wanted to. Didn't get quite a good run out. He manages to keep it on the inside, gets a great run, and good move to him. Fair play. Now, if I'm honest, the sun here made it rather difficult for me to hit my apexes, so I'd actually lose a bit of time just going through this corner. So fast forwards, quite a few laps now, to be fair. I've got a McLaren that's quite close, and he's up.
On the right.
You know, he's quite close up to my back end here. And yeah, this was a bit of a bizarre race, to be fair. There was a lot of
Car on the right.
there was a lot of action in some parts, but then not much in others. I make a slight mistake and ultimately lets this guy through. So that puts us up into P18 as we head round the Misano curve to complete our 11th lap. Our fastest lap so far is a 1:36.6.
There's a slow car ahead.
Definitely feel like as the race was going on,
Warning for exceeding track limits.
we could be quicker, but when we're trying to push, we get 2 warnings, 2 laps in a row. So from here on to the end of the race, basically, I was being very, very cautious. Managed to avoid the spun Honda up ahead. And then literally after that, I'm skipping to the last lap here, because between the spun Honda and now there was nothing really went on, to be fair. Like a bit of a lackluster race. But to be fair, I was quite happy with my race here. We started right near the back. Car number 27, we were expected. I think we out-qualified our position slightly, but nothing much. I think it was 24th we qualified. We find ourselves here after, near the end of the race. We are up into P15, which, it's not a bad effort. It's not a bad drive from ourselves. Could have been better, but it is what it is. We'll take every race as it comes. Heading out to Monto then for the last time. I was kind of hoping these guys up ahead would be fighting a little bit harder to, force one to make a bit of a mistake. But much to my disappointment, that didn't happen. This video is a bit shorter than I'd like it to be, but that's just basically because of sort of the lackluster race we had in between all the events that were going on around us. Heading into the last couple of corners then for the final lap of this race here, coming home in P15, which, considering where we started, I was fairly happy with the result, especially being as our races are only going to be more competitive from here on out. So that's going to conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe to be sure you don't miss the next one. Take care, guys. See ya.